So welcome back to our conversation about the human animal and the human predicament. Today I would like to talk about a word that I've recently encountered, and it's quickly becoming my new favorite word, and that word is Amathia. This word comes from the Greek, and I want to give you the exact meaning of this word. Amathia translates as intelligent stupidity or willful ignorance. It's a specific type of ignorance that is not merely a lack of knowledge, but rather an unwillingness to learn, an active choice to remain ignorant despite having the capacity to know better. Amathia. And this sounds like a dead ringer for modern society and modern culture. This seems to be a pandemic of its own. It's extremely widespread, and it's easy to see in the way that we relate to our predicament on the planet right now. I often use the metaphor of being out in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, and there's a hole in the lifeboat. Now, you would assume that the passengers on this vessel would be asking a lot of questions about the nature of the hole. Why is there a hole in the lifeboat? How did it get here? What is the history of the hole? Why are people making the hole bigger? What forces and processes and ideas contribute to the hole? Why aren't we working on it? What's going to happen? Who are the perpetrators of the hole? And why are we looking away? These are the questions that a curious people would be asking. But to quote the biologist George Sacroclides, we are living in a crisis of curiosity. And this great silence that we have now is evolving into a vast game of let's pretend. Let's pretend that everything's going to be okay. Let's pretend that technology is going to solve all our problems. Let's pretend that our leaders or our corporations or the nonprofits are going to solve these problems and fix the hole in the lifeboat. Let's pretend. This is Amathia. And I would like to point to three related ideas that go along with Amathia. And the first one has to do with our technology. Because if you look at the smartphone, one of the wonders of the smartphone is that we could program it to deliver whatever kind of comforting information that we like. We can make the phone into an amusement device that keeps delivering us comforting content. And in that sense, the modern smartphone is a Amathia device, an Amathia machine. It's a blindness machine, because the more time we spend getting the content that makes us feel comfortable, the less time we spend looking at the human predicament. There's also the matter of modern media, because modern media shows very little interest in our existential predicament. It would rather keep us amused with trivialities. And that's why most of the stories that we read in modern media have to do with things like politics and celebrity gossip and how much things are costing and all of these things that might be somewhat interesting, but really have nothing to do with the gravity and the magnitude of our situation. And finally, there's the matter of the universities. And the tragedy here is that our universities around the world are also afflicted by Amathia. And this is easy to see, because if you go to any modern university website, you see the same language. You see language about discovery and the adventures of learning and opportunities and academic excellence and all of these things. But you have to dig a long way into the modern university website to find anything about the most pressing issues of our time. You won't find anything up front about The climate crisis, the biodiversity crisis, the social crisis, you won't find much at all. So the modern university is complicit in this level of Amathia, this level of willful blindness. So we have to get over this somehow. And this requires a certain courage. It requires a certain willingness to step up. It requires a certain embrace of ambiguity and risk and a willingness to talk about things that no one else is talking about. This is leadership that we can all exercise. So yes, let's get over our Amathia. And I'd like to close with a passage from the Japanese filmmaker Akira Kurosawa. And he put it, the role of the artist is to not look away. That's something I think we can all take to heart at this time in history. So, give it a go. I'll see you next time.